Good morning, everybody. It's Kylie here from Hello Crafter, and this is my Friday morning Facebook Live, YouTube online card class that you are very, very welcome to come and watch. Everyone's welcome. Please take my ideas and create and craft along if you want to. I just well, I craft quite fast, so you might want to watch the replay if you want to recreate the projects. Hi Sharon, good morning, nice to see you. I am using the Cheerful Daisies this week. It kind of was my stamp set of the week, but I haven't actually shared anything this week. I had my team event on Sunday, which it's kind of wiped me out. I feel like I still am recovering from that Sunday event. It was an amazing day. We got together for the whole day, crafted, chatted, ate, drank tea, inspired each other, helped each other. It was amazing. So I had an amazing day, and I really want to try and get an event together for my customers as well, because that was exclusively for my team. So I'm just trying to look for excuse me a room basically to host that in, because we need a lot of space when we're crafting, don't we? So I will hopefully, if I can make those arrangements over the next couple of days, announce it at the beginning of next week, so look out for that. Right, Cheerful Daisies though, I did a couple of projects with my team on Sunday, and that's what I'm going to share with you today for the class this morning. So if you like these projects and you want to get the kit, then you can place an order. All the details are in the description, but I send the class kits for free with an order in my online store. And all you need to do is just use the host code that's on the screen now. When you put your order through, that will make sure that it comes to me, and I know that it's this class that you want, not other offers, other classes, if that makes sense. So the link in the video though will just take you straight through to pop your whatever you want into your basket. If it's £25 or more, you get the class kit for free. If it's £45 or more, I also include a free pack of embellishments. So I hope that makes sense, but ask any questions if you need to. And I'll show you the kit. I'll just point down. We have it all packed up, ready. Well, one of them. I only pack one up at a time, usually, just because I don't know how many people are going to be wanting the kit each week. So this is what it looks like when it comes. Everything's cut for you. There is some die cutting done for you as well, and some lovely papers in there. I've included some of the countryside in papers, a little bit of ribbon, and then some card for stamping onto. So it's all going to be packed up like this for you, so it's ready to go. So if you've got the Cheerful Daisies stamps, then, and you've got, these are the recommended inks: Misty Moonlight, Boho Blue and Daffodil Delight, then you'll all be ready to go. If you don't have those things yet, you might want to just pop them into your order. And the other thing that I'm using as well, which is optional, is the Countryside Blossoms embossing folder. I think it might be my favourite in the catalogue. So you could pop that in your order if you don't have that, or just use whatever you've got. And what else? I'm also using these. However, anything that uses these ones, I've actually done the cutting for you, so you don't need to have these, but they are an amazing die set, and I've already used them absolutely loads. And I think that's all you need really. So the kit's ready to go really. So should we make a start? I don't need to say anything else, do I? Ask me questions if you if I'm confusing anyone. Right, let me just take that off. And we can start. So simple stamped card to start with. Oh, I've got to show you the daisy dies. I've just misplaced them for a second, but I'll find them in a sec. Card number 1 then, we start with a Misty Moonlight card base, and this is a piece of white that is 9.5 by 13.8 centimetres, and then a slightly smaller bit to do a double layer like I usually do is 9 by 13.3 centimetres. I've got another of the larger ones to go inside my card as well, so I'll just pop that to one side. And then I've die cut some labels. These are from the Countryside Corners dies, which I showed you a second ago. So it's the smallest one of that for stamping a sentiment onto. So let's grab my stamps. So I'm going to, well, you'll see, it's like a two-step stamp where you've got the outline and then you've also got the solid image. So each of those have a pair. So you could use the outline on its own with coloured ink. You could use the outline and then colour in yourself the daisy. You could use this solid stamp to colour in the outline, to infill with a different colour or the same colour. You could use the solid image on its own, and there's lots of ways you could use that. You could do a baby wipe technique with that. You could colour multicoloured with your markers, or you could just stamp with a solid colour, or you could combine them so you've got the outline. That's what I said, isn't it? Anyway, lots of possibilities with this stamp set to get different looks. So the first one, I'm going to take the smaller one and take the smaller solid image, and I'm just going to stamp a repeating pattern all over this smaller bit of white. And I'm going to use Misty Moonlight ink, so it's the darker one, and just tap to ink it up. I'm going to go off the edge. I'm going to get them fairly close together. And you can keep the pattern fairly uniform, or you can just go random like I am. Oops. Oh no. Do you think I can get away with that? I don't know if I can, but I'm going to. I'm just going to ignore that, because I can't be bothered to do that one again. But there you go. Don't drop your stamps while you're stamping. Who's gonna notice that? It's fine. So I've done my pattern. Just pretend that little mistake didn't happen. And then I'm going to go in with this little daisy centre. And I quite like Daffodil Delight with this Misty Moonlight. I think it's a really good combo. Just going to put those centres in all of those daisies. And actually, before I put my stamps away, this bit will go on the inside of the card, and I've decided that I'm going to stamp a bit on the inside too. I think that'll look quite nice. So I'll just go, I don't know, maybe I'll just do a couple around in the corner like that. Okay, and really that's kind of all it is. So just glue that stamped panel on. To that white layer. That can go on the front. I can't tell which way around it goes. I don't think it really matters. I think I'm tending to put the shorter petals on the bottom, but I could be wrong. And then this will go on the inside. And then just stamp a sentiment on there. Now, if I'm to make a sorry card, I'm sure there's always things I need to apologise for. It's handy to have it anyway in my stash. Foam pads out. And you can decide where you want to put that. I like it just right in the middle at the top there. Right, I think I'll figure out what embellishments I want to use and then do them at the end, if I remember. You might have to remind me, because I don't have any out right this second. Actually, before I move on from that, let's decorate the envelope as well, because we've just done, it's fairly simple. So I'm going to stamp onto the flap of the envelope. So it's handy to get a piece of scrap paper. It's not quite long enough, but let's use this bit. Just lay it over, line it up with the fold, and then you can stamp. Let me do, I'm going to do the outliney one so you can see a different effect. So I quite often stamp the envelope when I remember. I think it always just makes such a difference to have a matching envelope. So that's a nice way to give a card. Right, let's do number 2. Right, this one, I don't actually have a sample. Well, I do. This is a version of what the card that I'm about to make, but this is a simple version. I'm doing a little bit of a, I suppose you could call it a little bit of a fancy fold in here. So this is what it will look like, but there'll be an extra little element on it. So I'll explain that. I have die cut already these daisy pieces, so you can see that they layer up, and so you need the solid outline ones, and then you need this one that's all connected as one. So you just cut one of them out, and then these solid ones, and then if you want, there's also these little fancy detailed dies. Thank you, Susan, that's really kind of you. You see these little spiky ones which can layer up on the top, and you can combine them in all different ways. I'll show you anyway what I've done. So excuse me. Right, so they are ready for building my daisy. I've also got, using the countryside corner dies, I've die cut some of the countryside in papers. So I've got one of those, and then I've got a white one. I've got a boho blue card base, just a standard card base, and then I've got a piece of card and this measures 24 centimeters by 8, but it's scored in half across the width at 12. So measure from 12 in half, and it's scored. In your kit, in the free card kit though, this bit's done for you. I'm just going to show you how I did it using the countryside corners die. This size, which is the second from the biggest. So my fold is along there, and then I'll lay the die so that the edge of the die, this top edge, hangs off, not by much, but it means that it won't cut. I don't want it to cut that edge there. So I just make sure that that cut edge is hanging off the die. Use a little bit of tape to secure it if you need to. So I'm going to run that through my cut and emboss. And what that's done is created a folded piece like that. So for that one, I'm going to stick inside the white piece, which is, it's one smaller. So I've got that nice border. And on the front, I'll glue the patterned piece. Like so. This is 10 centimeters by 14.3, and you can leave it plain, or you could emboss this. I think that'd be quite nice with some texture on. So if you wanted to do that now and then glue it on. I'm just going to leave it blank. But you could use that countryside blossoms embossing folder again if you wanted to. Okay, I'm going to glue the back of this. Put that on the centre. So it actually has a hidden little area that you could put a hidden message or stamp a different sentiment, or just put something inside there like that. That's the idea for that. Now I'm going to just decorate this with the daisies. So take the one that's all connected, and I've been cutting my leaf off because I don't really like it there. You can have it anywhere you want. If you cut it off first, then you can stick it where you want it afterwards. You can poke out the little holes if you want to, or just leave them. And then I'm going to stamp. So you could use a little sponge dauber or blending brush to brush some colour on, or you could just use the centre stamps that come in the set, just to get some of this Daffodil Delight on, and it gives it a little bit of texture as well. And then find the solid ones that match up with those 3 daisies. You could cut these if you wanted to cut them. In fact, I'm going to do that. So they're just connected by a little piece of card. And then if there's any little bubbly bits that you need to just trim off, just do that. Should have put my glasses on. Okay, and now I can match those up. So little blobs of glue. And this layering just adds some really nice dimension. To work out which. This is the tricky bit. It's working out where they go. Then these bits, if you want to, you can glue over the top for even more height dimension. It's totally up to you because they look good both ways. So that's what it looks like with it. That's what it looks like without. So I'll leave that to your personal preference. And now just attach these with your foam pads. And because I've cut them up, I can just arrange these however I like now. A little bit of glue on the leaf. Put that there. And then just leaves room for the sentiment. So I've just got a strip. It's about 1 centimetre wide, maybe just a little bit more. And then there's a really nice sentiment in here that will fit perfectly on there. You made my day. So grab my boho blue ink. Stamp it on there. I'm going to snip it at an angle and then just put that on with foam pads there. So, there you go, that's card number 2. And I will show you a different way of decorating your envelope as well. So you can grab a piece of the designer series paper. I'll include a couple of pieces for you, so you could do 2 envelopes. The designs will vary though, depending on what I've got left. So I've cut this to about 16.5 centimetres by 6. This is for the UK size envelopes though, because the US ones are a little bit smaller. So these ones, that's sort of about the size you'll need. And all I do is put glue all over the flap. And then lay your piece of paper up to the fold, not over the fold, because that'll be hard to close, but up to the fold. Good press down, and take your snips and just follow the edge of the envelope. And there you have another decorated envelope. So looks posh now, doesn't it? Okie doke. Right, the third card, we need to do some stamping and die cutting, because I didn't do that in advance. So grab a piece of scrap white. Just got a bit here, and you want 5, let's see, you probably want about 6 or 7 daisies, different sizes. So I start off with the big ones. I'll do 2 of these. So I'm going to do a bit of a combination of the outline and the solid. So I'm going to stamp the outline first in Misty Moonlight. That's my darker colour. And then take the solid image, and so that was Misty Moonlight. This is Boho Blue. I'm going to stamp with the Boho Blue. Might need re-inking. And you can line it up quite easily because it's quite a dark outline. It's not too bad. It's a little bit off, but nothing I can't cope with. Then the smaller one, again, we want to do the solid in, I'm going to do that in full strength Boho Blue. So I'll do 2 of those. You could do as many as you want for each card. And then with the solid image, I'm going to do stamped off Boho Blue. I want a lighter blue. So stamp off once, and then on. So you've got a lighter colour now. And then just going to do, I don't know, let's see what Misty Moonlight looks like stamped off. So do the outline full strength. And then the solid stamped off. I'm guessing it's going to look a little bit Boho Blue. Yes, it's really, really similar. So these two look really similar. But it shows you that you can get some really good variations of colour with just one ink pad as well. So I'm going to die cut these now. So these are the ones that need to cut these out. Right, let me make some space. So when I'm making lots of cards, I tend to have a stamping session, and then I'll put it away, and then I'll have a die cutting session, and then I'll put them away, and then I'll go back in and make the cards. And it just, for some reason, it just makes it seem so much of an easier task when I've done it in stages like that. I know this has shifted, so I should have taken the time to put my tape on. Right. Move those, move this. Right, now, card base, plain white card base. It is just an A5 folded in half at 10.5, but I'm going to chop some off of this. So I'm going to chop it off the front. So imagine that's the front of your card. Turn it 180 degrees and chop at 3.5 centimeters. Chop 3.5 centimeters off the end, and then you can see that you've got a bit chopped off your card base there. And then you have a piece of white that measures 7 centimeters by 14.8, which should now fit perfectly on that bit that you cut off. Not that you cut off, the bit that remains. And we're going to emboss that. So I'll pop that in my embossing folder, and it's on the floor now. So I'll just reach down in there and get that done. If I can find my plates. There we go. And it's just such a beautiful embossing folder. Let's look at the detail. Very folksy. I like the floral ones. I like the ones like this that have a lot of detail. So that gets glued onto the front. And then you've got a strip of the designer series paper. It should be cut to the right size, but it's 14.8 again by 4 centimeters wide. And then that gets glued on the inside of the card, just along that right hand edge. So you've still got room to write your message, but you've got this piece of pattern that is revealed when your card's closed as well. So now, oh, I didn't do my centres. Let me just quickly do those. It's easy to do the centres after you've die cut, especially with these ones, because you don't know where you need to stamp otherwise. There we go. And now we're going to arrange our daisies on this edge, half on, half off. So we need to make sure we only put adhesive on the card side and not on the other half of it. So that's the only thing you need to be aware of. So I'm just going to try and cover this hard edge with my daisies. So grab some, always using up edges. Get up through quite a lot of these dimensionals, as you can imagine. So put some on. In fact, I just don't want to. I'm going to put some on with glue and some on with dimensionals. So glue just on that little half. Let's put the big ones on with glue. I'll do one about there as well. These ones can go on with dimensionals. Just make sure there's nothing showing through adhesive wise, because otherwise you'll get sticky. Get confused. So it's covered now, that edge, and then these can be added in. I might add those in after I've done the sentiment. So that's that label's been die cut with the using the daisy set, Cheerful Daisies. It's got this little label in it, which is well cute. And let's find a stamp. Misty Moonlight again. I love this sentiment, wishing you the brightest birthday. It's very cute. Little piece of ribbon, turn it round and put a bit of tape on the back there. I'm just going to do a little loop behind. Just wedge it down with dimensionals. Pop that where you want it, and then just add these two last ones on. Just fill in any gaps that you need to. There you go. So it's a very fancy looking card, but it honestly wasn't too involved. Just a bit of stamping, die cutting. You've got your embossing there, a bit of a fancy cut on your card, but actually more simple than it looks, if that makes sense. Yeah. So there are your cards. We've got enough materials in your free pack that makes 6 cards, so you'll do 2 of each. Don't know if I said that before, but we always like you to give you You know, some of my class ladies, they like to make 2 because they want to give one away, but they want to keep one. So that's quite it. That is a thing. Right, there was one thing I needed to tell you before I go. So my paper share. So I filled my paper share. They have gone off in the post this week, apart from one which I'm just waiting for a replacement of the wrong papers that I got sent, but that'll be going off. And also, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the paper share. So if you give me 1 second, I'll just go and grab it. I'm back. So paper share is going to include part of 12 different packs of paper. So I've opened up more places for the paper share because my first lot were filled. So you've got the Let's Go Fishing, Stargazing, Delightfully Eclectic. Oh, this is an 1/8 of a pack. The rest are quarter packs, but there's 12 sheets in that. Les Shop, Countryside Inn, Earth and Elegance, Masterfully Made, which might be my second favourite. Fresh as a Daisy, Zoo Crew, Glorious Gingham, Bright and Beautiful, and the Inked Botanicals, which is the one that I'm waiting for. So I've opened up a new round of places for the paper share, and I'm going to be taking orders for the 1st of June, whereby there will be a paper sale, so I'm able to offer it again at the discounted price of £30 instead of 35, because the papers will be on offer. So I'll need to know by the 1st of June if you'd like a place on my paper share, and once I've got 4 places, I'll be able to put those orders through, or multiples of 4, because I think there's a few people that would like to be added to my paper share group. So yeah, let me know. Orders for this class until Sunday night, 10 p.m. But I'll be back again on Sunday. I know I missed all my Facebook lives this week, and I didn't do much creating, but I was doing lots of planning behind the scenes. But I will be back on Sunday night. So thank you so much for watching, and thanks for your comments, and I hope you enjoy a lovely weekend, whatever you're doing in the sunshine or crafting at home. I'll speak to you soon. Thanks again. Bye bye.